Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking you on a journey into the world of hands-on IoT solutions development. It's more than just a tech trend. This is about shaping the future. We're going to explore why mastering these practical skills is absolutely essential, not just in 2025, but for years to come. Our source material is an article that really gets into the nitty-gritty of hands-on expertise in IoT. And get this, it's not just about building some cool gadgets in your basement. We're talking solutions that span industries, impacting everything from how we grow our food to how we receive healthcare.
What's really intriguing here is the sheer scale of the IoT revolution. By 2025, we're expecting over 30 billion connected devices. Now, when you hear connected devices, you might think smartphones and laptops, but this goes way beyond that. Imagine sensors on factory floors optimizing production lines to reduce downtime, smart city infrastructure easing traffic congestion, and even wearable devices providing doctors with real-time patient data for personalized care.
Wow, 30 billion devices. That's a pretty staggering number. It really highlights how deeply intertwined IoT is becoming with almost every aspect of our lives. But here's the question. How do you move beyond understanding the basic idea of IoT to actually building and implementing these complex systems? Our source material emphasizes the importance of hands-on experience, going beyond just the theory.
Absolutely. Having a theoretical understanding is important, but it's like reading a cookbook versus actually cooking a meal. To truly master IoT, you need to get your hands dirty. Imagine, for instance, you're trying to build a simple home automation system. You can't just have a vague idea of what a smart home is. You need to know which sensors to choose. Do you need motion detectors, temperature sensors, or both? How are you going to connect them? How will you collect and analyze the data they generate? What about designing a user-friendly interface? It gets complicated very quickly.
So it sounds like you need a pretty diverse skill set. It's not just about knowing how to code. You need to understand hardware, networking, and even user interface design. It's a lot more involved than someone might initially realize.
Exactly. And let's not forget about security. You're dealing with devices that collect and transmit potentially sensitive data. For example, you might think a strong Wi-Fi password is enough to secure your smart home. However, many IoT devices come with default settings that are easily guessable, leaving your entire system vulnerable. That's where practical knowledge comes in. Understanding how to choose the right components, implement secure protocols, and harden your system against attacks is absolutely crucial.
That's a really good point about security. It's easy to overlook in the excitement of building a cool new gadget or system. It seems like the article is really pushing this idea of hands-on boot camps as a way to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and real-world expertise in IoT.
Boot camps offer a really unique learning experience because they're so immersive and focused. In a relatively short amount of time, they take you from having a basic understanding to being able to build and deploy real IoT solutions. You get hands-on experience with popular microcontrollers like Arduino and Raspberry Pi, learning how to write the firmware that makes these devices tick using languages like Python or C++ Devel. And they don't just throw you in the deep end. Boot camps often incorporate team-based projects that mirror real-world development environments, teaching you how to collaborate, solve problems, and utilize tools like DevOps and version control.
So it's like a crash course in all the essential elements of IoT development, but with a strong emphasis on practical application and teamwork.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they really dive deep into security as well, which, as you mentioned, is absolutely crucial in this interconnected world.
Yes. The security aspect is incredibly important. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't skimp on the foundation, right? Similarly, a secure foundation is essential in IoT development. Boot camps typically dedicate a significant portion of their curriculum to teaching security best practices, ensuring you understand how to implement encryption, authentication, and secure communication protocols. It's about building systems that are not only functional, but also resilient against potential threats.
Yeah, the one thing that really stands out to me is this idea of IoT sitting at the intersection of software and hardware. It's not just about coding or just about building circuits. It's about understanding how these two worlds come together to create truly innovative solutions. That's got to be a pretty exciting space to be in.
It is. The article highlights this beautifully by drawing an analogy to architecture. You need to be a versatile architect who understands both the digital blueprint and the physical construction of the system. Let's take the example of smart agriculture that we mentioned earlier. You have sensors collecting real-time data from the field, maybe on moisture levels or nutrient content. That data is then processed by a microcontroller, perhaps on the edge, which can trigger actions like turning on irrigation systems. At the same time, that data is being sent to the cloud for sophisticated analysis using things like machine learning, allowing farmers to optimize resource usage and even predict future needs.
And then on the other side,
Yeah.
you have the farmer interacting with all of this through a user-friendly interface, maybe a mobile app or a web dashboard. They can see what's happening in their fields in real time and make informed decisions based on the insights provided by the system.
Exactly. And this isn't limited to agriculture. Imagine the possibilities in healthcare, manufacturing, transportation. The potential is pretty much limitless. And the beauty of it is that this isn't some far-off future we're talking about. These kinds of solutions are being implemented right now, making a real impact across various industries.
It's incredible to think about how this technology is shaping our world.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic for a moment. If someone wants to get involved in this exciting field, where do they even begin? The article touches on the idea of boot camps being a great starting point. But with so many options out there, how do you know which one is the right fit?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll delve deeper into in the next part of our deep dive. Choosing the right boot camp is crucial, and there are a lot of factors to consider. It's like finding the perfect pair of hiking boots. You wouldn't just grab the first pair you see, right? You'd want to make sure they fit well, offer good support, and can handle the terrain you'll be tackling. We'll guide you through the key things to look for when evaluating different bootcamp options, so you can make an informed decision and set yourself up for success.
That's a perfect segue into part 2 of our deep dive. We'll be back after a quick word from our sponsor. Welcome back to the deep dive. Before the break, we were talking about how hands-on boot camps can be a fantastic way to launch yourself into the world of IoT. But, as we all know, not all boot camps are created equal. So, how do you navigate this landscape and choose a program that aligns with your goals and learning style?
That's where our source material comes in handy. It provides a really useful checklist of key factors to consider when evaluating different boot camps. Think of it as your compass for navigating the boot camp wilderness.
Okay, let's break out that compass and see what it points to. What's the first landmark on our boot camp checklist?
First and foremost, you need to pay close attention to the curriculum. It's not enough for a boot camp to simply touch on the basics. You want a program that offers a comprehensive deep dive into all the core components of IoT: hardware, software, networking, and, of course, a hefty dose of security.
That makes sense. It's like building a house. You need a solid foundation in all the essential elements, not just a few.
Yeah.
But how can you tell if a boot camp's curriculum is truly comprehensive? What are some red flags to watch out for?
A big red flag is a curriculum that's heavily skewed towards just one aspect of IoT, like coding, for example. Remember, IoT is all about the integration of different technologies. You need a program that provides a balanced approach, ensuring you gain proficiency in both the hardware and software sides of the equation. Look for boot camps that clearly outline the topics they cover, the depth they go into, and the tools and technologies they utilize.
So, you're saying don't be fooled by a boot camp that promises to turn you into a coding wizard without also equipping you with the hardware and networking skills needed to bring your IoT visions to life. It's about the whole package.
Precisely. The next crucial factor on our checklist is the project portfolio. A well-structured bootcamp should provide ample opportunities to get your hands dirty with real-world projects. This is where the rubber meets the road, where you get to apply what you've learned and build something tangible.
Ah, yes. The show don't tell principle in action.
Yeah.
I'd imagine potential employers are much more interested in seeing what you've actually built rather than just hearing about theoretical knowledge.
You nailed it. A strong project portfolio is your secret weapon. It showcases your skills, problem-solving abilities, and your ability to translate concepts into working solutions. Look for boot camps that go beyond simple coding exercises and challenge you to build projects that mimic real-world use cases.
So, it's not just about completing assignments, it's about building a portfolio that tells a story about your capabilities and passions as an IoT developer. That's a great tip. What's next on our bootcamp compass?
Next up is mentorship and networking. A good boot camp will provide you with more than just technical skills. It will connect you with experienced professionals and a supportive network. Think of it like having a team of Sherpas guiding you through the sometimes treacherous terrain of IoT development.
That sounds invaluable. Having access to mentors who can offer guidance, feedback, and industry insights can make a world of difference. And building a network of like-minded individuals can open doors to collaborations, job opportunities, and even lifelong friendships.
Absolutely. Now, let's not forget about the tools of the trade. In the fast-paced world of IoT, using cutting-edge tools and technologies is non-negotiable. You wouldn't want to train for a marathon in flip-flops, would you?
Definitely not. I wouldn't even want to walk to the mailbox in flip-flops. So, what are some of the key tools and technologies that we should be looking for in a boot camp's arsenal?
Think about the popular IoT platforms used in the industry: AWS IoT, Azure IoT, and Google Cloud IoT. You want a boot camp that provides hands-on experience with these platforms, ensuring you're familiar with the tools that employers are actually using.
It's like learning to drive on a car with an automatic transmission when everyone else is zipping around in self-driving vehicles.
Yeah.
You want to make sure the skills you're developing are relevant and up to date.
And it's not just about the cloud platforms. Think about the hardware side, too. Microcontrollers like Arduino and Raspberry Pi, sensors, actuators, communication modules. You want a boot camp that provides access to a wide array of components so you can experiment and build diverse projects.
So it's about striking a balance between learning the foundational concepts and getting your hands dirty with the latest and greatest tools and technologies. That makes a lot of sense. What's the final checkpoint on our boot camp checklist?
Last but not least, you need to consider the career support offered by the boot camp. Remember, you're making an investment in your future. So it's important to choose a program that has your back when it comes to launching your career.
That's a really good point. It's not just about gaining knowledge and skills. It's about translating those into tangible career opportunities. What are some specific things to look for in terms of career support?
Look for boot camps that offer job placement assistance, resume workshops, mock interviews, and even partnerships with leading IoT companies. They might host career fairs or connect you with their network of alumni who are already working in the field.
It's like having a dedicated team in your corner, helping you navigate the often daunting world of job hunting and connecting you with the right opportunities. That kind of support can be invaluable. So, to recap, our bootcamp checklist includes a comprehensive curriculum, a strong emphasis on real-world projects, access to mentorship and networking, experience with cutting-edge tools and technologies, and robust career support.
Exactly. Think of this checklist as your guide to choosing a boot camp that not only equips you with the necessary skills, but also sets you up for success in the long run.
It's like choosing the right pair of hiking boots.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure they're comfortable, supportive, and can handle the challenges of the trail ahead. And speaking of trails, let's continue our journey through the world of IoT in part 3 of our deep dive. Welcome back to the deep dive. So far, we've explored the what and the how of hands-on IoT solutions development. We've talked about the skills needed, how to get them, and the vast potential of this field. Now, I'm really excited to shift gears and explore the why.
Whoa.
What are some real-world applications of IoT that are already making a difference in the world today?
This is where things get really inspiring. We can step out of the theoretical and see how IoT is already transforming industries and impacting lives in a very tangible way. Let's start with an area we've touched upon before: smart agriculture. Remember those sensors collecting data on moisture levels, automatically triggering irrigation systems, and providing farmers with insights to optimize their crops? That's not just a concept. It's happening right now.
It's amazing to think about how technology can be harnessed to address such fundamental challenges like food production and resource management. I recently read about a project in California where almond farmers were able to significantly reduce water consumption during a drought using a network of sensors and connected irrigation systems.
That's a fantastic example of how IoT solutions can contribute to sustainability efforts. Imagine sensors not just monitoring moisture, but also detecting early signs of disease in crops, or even alerting farmers to the optimal time for harvesting. We're talking about a data-driven approach to agriculture that could revolutionize food production on a global scale.
It's mind-boggling to consider the potential. But let's not get stuck in just one field, pun intended. What about healthcare? I'm really fascinated by how IoT can transform the way we manage our health and receive medical care.
Healthcare is another area ripe for disruption. Imagine wearing a sensor that tracks your vital signs, activity levels, and even medication adherence, transmitting that data to your doctor in real time. This kind of continuous monitoring could empower healthcare providers to intervene proactively, personalize treatment plans, and potentially prevent serious health issues before they even arise.
It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. Yeah, but it's already happening. I've heard about smart inhalers that track usage patterns and can alert patients and doctors to potential issues. And then there are those continuous glucose monitors that are literally lifesavers for people with diabetes. It seems like these devices are not just improving the quality of care, but also giving individuals more control over their own health.
That's a really crucial point. IoT is empowering people to take a more active role in managing their own well-being. And it's not limited to monitoring. Think about connected drug delivery systems that can precisely administer medication, or robotic surgery platforms that enable minimally invasive procedures with greater precision. We're talking about a future where healthcare is more accessible, affordable, and personalized than ever before.
It's exciting to think about the potential to not just treat diseases, but to prevent them altogether. But let's shift gears a bit and bring things closer to home. How is IoT impacting our cities and the communities we live in?
Smart cities are a hotbed of IoT innovation. Imagine driving on a road where traffic flows smoothly because intelligent systems are optimizing signals based on real-time data from sensors. Or picture walking down a street at night where streetlights dim automatically when no one is around, conserving energy and reducing light pollution.
Those are some really tangible examples that can make a big difference in people's daily lives. I've also read about cities using sensors to monitor air quality, detect potential hazards like gas leaks, and even optimize waste management systems. It seems like IoT is making our urban environments more efficient, sustainable, and resilient.
It's all about using data to make smarter decisions and improve the quality of life in our cities. And this extends beyond just infrastructure. Think about connected public transportation networks that provide real-time updates and make commuting easier. Or imagine using sensors to enhance safety and security in neighborhoods, enabling residents to be more connected and engaged with their communities.
It's amazing to see how technology can be used to address some of the biggest challenges facing our cities. But what I find most inspiring is that these aren't just theoretical concepts or pilot programs. These solutions are being deployed and scaled up in cities around the world, from Barcelona to Singapore.
That's what makes this field so exciting. We're seeing real-world applications of IoT making a tangible difference in people's lives. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. As the technology continues to evolve and costs continue to decrease, the potential for innovation and impact is virtually limitless.
It's almost like we're at a tipping point, and things are about to get really interesting. It's a bit overwhelming to consider all the possibilities, but in a good way. It's like we're standing on the edge of a new frontier.
Oh.
And it's up to us to explore and create the future we want to see.
That's a great way to put it. The future of IoT is being written right now, and it's a collective effort. Whether you're a seasoned developer, a student exploring your options, or just someone curious about the potential of this technology, you have a role to play in shaping this exciting future.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into hands-on IoT solutions development, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to carry with them?
The most important takeaway is this. IoT is not just about technology. It's about people. It's about using our creativity and ingenuity to solve real-world problems, improve lives, and build a better future for everyone.
That's a perfect note to end on. It's a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference, and technology can be a powerful tool for positive change.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've gained valuable insights and perhaps even a spark of inspiration to explore the world of IoT further.
And remember, the journey doesn't end here. Keep asking questions, keep learning, and keep exploring the endless possibilities of this amazing technology. Until next time, keep those creative juices flowing, and let's build the future together.